and welcome to AM Language. I'm Richie and this is Friday, which is lovely. So it's the day before the weekend and I'm sure all of you are looking forward to hopefully what will be a nice relaxing weekend. Irina F, good afternoon. Privyet. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you're doing well. Make sure, as always, to like the video. And if you're watching live or if you're watching later, please make sure that you follow us in the live chat section, because that is where the action happens. And that is how you can follow the lesson. So the lesson, I can now share it. So in today's lesson, everybody, we are looking forward to pronunciation. Exactly. Pronunciation, vowel sounds. How do we tackle this? Vowel sounds can be really difficult. Really difficult. So we need to, today, we need to actually discover the techniques to know how to pronounce. I'm going to show you the symbols as well for the different types of vowel sounds that we're going to look at. And we are going to, we need to discover what our mouth does. Now, I just want to make something absolutely clear. Your pronunciation of a vowel sound and your accent, you don't need to worry about your accent and confusing. The pronunciation of your vowel, of a vowel sound, doesn't need to be made in an English accent. That is not what is required. What is required is that, doesn't matter what our accent might be, where we're from, it's important that we get the correct vowel sound that we are going for. And one of the other things that we need to discover is the vowel sounds that we can say, because maybe they're similar in that the sound is very similar to a sound that you make in your own language. Well, sometimes the sound might not be quite the same as what you would come out with in your own language. And now and again, there are sounds that exist in one language that don't exist in another language. So all of these things are things that we need to discover. Now, at the moment, because of COVID, developing speaking and pronunciation can be difficult in the classroom. You've got the teachers wearing a visor or a mask. You are wearing COVID, a mask or a visor. So pronunciation is difficult because to get pronunciation right, you need to be able to see the person's mouth. And if you can't see the teacher's mouth, it becomes more difficult. The other thing is that you will discover that when it comes to pronouncing words, the spelling of words and the pronunciation can sometimes be really, really different. And that can also cause a lot of confusion, especially when it comes into spelling as well. So we're going to have a look at the vowel sounds. We're going to look at some key vowel sounds as well, and we're going to slowly work our way up. And there's going to be lots of opportunities to try and discover for yourself what type of vowel sounds certain words are. So, by the way, guys, on a different note, we're now up to 488. Next week is the last week of October. So I'm really hoping that that there's a really good push and we get, we're just 12 subscribers away from that big 500 mark. So we're getting closer and closer and closer. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can get to that 500 mark come September. As always, if you are new, please subscribe and please share the channel with people who are looking to learn English. And as always, if you click on the description below, you can always find the links. There's a link to our website where you can find out how you can have physical and live lessons at AM Language, and you can follow us on other social media platforms. Okay, so I think some people might be late today, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to begin. So the first thing that we need to understand when we are looking at vowel sounds is we're going to start off with vowel sounds that are at the front of our mouth and vowel sounds that are at the back of our mouth as well. So the first three vowel sounds that we need to think about are as follows. And I'm going to write them over here. And I'm also going to give you an example. Yeah, I'm also going to give you an example as to the sound that it makes. So I'm going to put a word in it as well. Should probably use this form. I want to try and stick to a certain type of. I'm going to use the phonemic chart actually. I know not everybody uses it, but I personally do like to use it. I think it's better. I think it's a better way forward, to be honest. So I'm going to go with that actually. I'm going to go with the phonemic chart. Okay. This is, here we go. So now I can get the symbol up. Okay, so and the last one, which is this one here. Well, actually, I can just write that in myself. That there's no difference. So this is the first one. I, a, e. I, a, e. I, a, e. Now, Alida, good afternoon. Buenos dias from where you are in the world. Thank you for joining. So we've got I, a, e. What you can see here is that I, a, e all happen. The sound is right at the front of the mouth. And you've got I, a, e. I, a, e. And then you need to think about your tongue. Your tongue, when you say I, okay, like it, your tongue, if this is the roof of your mouth, okay, your tongue is about here. I. When you say ah, your tongue is now maybe touching your teeth over here. And if you say your tongue from the top of your teeth goes down. And you're now down here. So you got I, a, e. I, a, e. Evelina, good afternoon and buono pomeriggio. So that's the first thing that we need to do. You need to feel your mouth, your tongue in this sense. Now, this can sometimes be a bit difficult, especially the difference between and a. And we are going to do exercises where you are going to have to think, okay, was it an a, was it an I, or was it an e? Okay. So we are going to look at that kind of thing because it does make a really big difference. So let's start off with this one. Let's go with I think we can go this. Okay, it's quite simple. I'm going to write a word. It's a word that you will probably know, but I would like you to tell me if the sound is I, a, or e. Please use the symbols that I've used above. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. Now, what I would like you to concentrate on is the main vowel sound, the main syllable sound. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. I have written the word inadequate. Inadequate. Okay, you've got in, ad, e, quit. Okay, so you've got 4 syllables. But the strongest syllable is the second one, which is this. Okay, it's the a sound. So you would then simply write this. Okay, so we're only interested in the syllable sound. Okay, the strongest syllable sound. In this case, it's a, because it's inadequate. Inadequate. So with that being said, let's move on and let's look at the first word. So let me know what you think. What is the main vowel sound in this one? Let's go with now. I'm not going to say the word. I would like you guys to. I first want to see what you guys come out with. Okay, so this is the word. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter so much if you haven't seen the word before. Sometimes it might make a difference, but let's see what you come out with. So is this an I, a, or e sound? What do you think? Now, the way you're going to end up thinking about this is the syllable stress on the first, is the syllable stress on the first syllable, D, D-E, or is it on the second syllable, which is T-A? So where do you think the syllable stress is? And then what do you think the sound is? I'm going to actually say it because I think, come to think of it, it might make a little bit more different. Okay, no, our leader's gone straight in with a because it's on the second syllable. Okay, do you agree with the leader? I'm going to say the word for you. Detached. 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 Okay, so that's the first example. As always, we're starting off slightly easier, and then we're going to make our way up the ladder of difficulty. So this is detached. Detached. You can actually see that when you say ah, your mouth is really stretched open. Detached. Okay. Let's go for this one. Again, it's a word that you might not have seen before, but let's see what you come out with. Distinguish. 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 Okay. Distinguish. Don't worry about what the word means. That's not what we're looking at the moment. Alida goes with well, I in this case, and that would be correct. So let's go with, I'm going to go with two more. Okay, let's see what you guys think. So I've got two words here. I'll say the first and then I'll say the second. Let me know. Don't forget, we're looking out for the main syllable here. What is the vowel sound of the main syllable? If you're joining me late and you're looking at the live chat, you can see the three vowel sounds that we are looking at the top. So the first one over here. In terms of what this word means, it means you say something is bigger than it actually is, for example. I would say that's the best way of looking at it. So Alida thinks the first one is an ah sound. Okay. Well, I can tell you that the pronunciation is exaggerate, exaggerate, exaggerate. So Alida thinks that the syllable sound here, the syllable stress, is on the second, and you think it's going to be ah. So exaggerate. That's how you say it. The second one is detestable, detestable, detestable. So what do you think is the main vowel sound in detestable? Detestable. And then we'll move on to the next lot. And as we move along, this is definitely going to become harder. This is the easier lot. So we will be moving on to a much, well, not much harder, but we're slowly going to increase the level of difficulty. I think that's the best way. That's the simple way of putting it. Alida says in the second one, it's detestable, detestable. Okay, good. So we can tick off that first round. We've now done I, a, e, I. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. And this one, I'm not going to lie, this one is now going to be a little bit harder. So what do you need? What are the sounds that we need to know? So the first one that we need to know is this one here. And I think this word is probably the best word to, as an example. So you have E, okay, which is, it's basically an I and a double colon. And this makes an E sound. So it's a long sound, like cheese, cheese. Notice when I go E, my mouth is going right back. And you're going E, your tongue is forward as well. So if this is your mouth, your tongue is right here. E, E. Okay? So that's that one. Cheese. The next one is annoying. Oh, this next one is very annoying, but I think I know how to go about it. This next one is the most common sound in English. The most common sound in English. And this one here is called the schwa. Okay? Now, there's something to be said about this. And this is a really important one you need to know. Now, I'm going to use America as an example. When you have this, okay, now this is something called the schwa. It is a weak vowel sound. And, weak vowel sound. And the syllable can never be stressed. This is really important. So you can see here in the word America, 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 if we were to look at it, America, 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 okay? The syllable is on the second. The strong is on the not the okay? So this is the sound. I'm going to give you another example over this one. And this one would be a good one to go with. Let's say we go with here. There we go. Okay, so we've got this word over here I'm about to show you. And this is a classic example of what I'm talking about. You've got the word cues. But when we think about the pronunciation, it's actually okay? Accuse, accuse, accuse. So the first sound is an okay? So that's what we mean by the You can also find this in prepositions. You can find this in the verb to be, because sometimes was becomes was, for example. This is a very, very common word, a sound. And the last one, and this is where it begins to get a little bit difficult, because we now have this. And the sound difference is hard to tell sometimes because they're quite close to one another. Up. So just to show you what you're doing with your mouth, first of all, we've got at the top, you've got E, E. And then from E, your mouth goes in a bit. So e, uh. Now, up, okay? Uh, 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 up, up, up. Your mouth opens like this. But when it's an your mouth can be quite closed. So up, up, up. America, America, America. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Okay, so that's the way we need to look at it. So what I would like you to do here is I'm going to write some words. I'm going to say the words, and you need to tell me, is it an E, or a sound? Okay, E, or a sound. Please use these syllables, these symbols, sorry, because that is the best way to think about it from my personal teaching experience. So you don't confuse it with just normal written words, because that's not always going to be the case. Now, in this case, if for two of them, it's E and A. This is the case if it's the syllable sound, okay? The syllable, the strong syllable. If I use a schwa at the beginning of the word, I want you to tell me. So if I say accuse, I want you to tell me that I've used the schwa at the beginning of the word. So with that being said, let's get into it. So let's go with this word to begin with. Apologize. 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 This is UK spelling with an S. When in American English, it's a Z. But what syllable, what sound are you hearing that you need to focus on? Apologize. 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 So if you are hearing an E or an then let me know, because then that would be the syllable stress. But if you aren't, and you're hearing the schwa, the at the start of the word, please let me know. And Alida's gone with the schwa. Okay. Well, I can safely say that Alida is correct there, so well done. Let's go with the next one. Well done, Irina F. That is correct as well. Let's go with increasing. 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 What do you guys think? Increasing. E, okay. Now, the next one is going to go, I'm going to go with this word here. Let's see what you guys go with. Redundant. 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 What do you think? Redundant. Are you hearing a schwa? Or if you're not hearing a schwa, is it something else? What's the main syllable stress? Is it an E? Is it an A? Alida's gone with A, so you're saying it's redundant. Redundant. You are made redundant. Okay. And Irina F agrees. Well done. So far, we are doing well. But do not be Don't get too comfortable. We're about to increase the level of difficulty. So here comes the next one, and this is going to now be a little bit harder. This is definitely going to be a little bit harder, actually, come to think of it. But who knows? You guys are doing very well at the moment. Maybe this is not going to be as difficult as I think it might be. So the first one is boot, 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 ooh. That's the sound, ooh. You'll notice now, my mouth isn't open. It's quite narrow. Boot, boot, ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, are you? Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so that is that one. The next one is going to be this, and I think this is probably one of the most annoying sounds in the English language because it can sometimes be easily confused with something else. So now notice this. This is not the same as the schwa. This is pronounced. So it's not it's like earth, uh, I mean, the best way to think about this, if you were to write it, would be uh, uh, for example, like, oh, it's disgusting. So earth. And the last one in this is going to be maybe the easiest of them to hear, but pronunciation reasonable, I would say. Ah, as in no, that's care. Sorry, that's not the right word. R as in car. Okay, R. Now this is where you need to be careful. You don't want to say up like cut. No, it's R. You're adding a R sound to it. Okay, so let's see how you guys go. First one, what do you think is the correct vowel sound that you're going to hear? And then we've got a little bit more, and then we can get into the really difficult, the more difficult stuff. So let's go with this one. What do you think about this one? Jar, jar, jar. A jam jar, jar. The door is ajar. I jarred my foot. Jar. A jam jar. Jar. What do you think? What vowel sound do you hear? Jar. That's going to be the first one. Whilst I'm waiting for your answers, I'm just going to consider the next one. So far, okay, all of you've gone for R, and that is correct. What about this one? Earth. Same as this one, actually. Bird. You've got birth, bird, herd. You can go on, really. Birth, bird, herd. What vowel sound are you hearing here? And then the last one as well. So Alida's gone with and Arena's also gone with Good. So what about this one? Shoot, 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 shoot. Correct, Arena F. Okay. So now that we've done that, we're going to look at the last slot, and then we're going to start making this a lot harder. Because so far, you're doing well. So let's look at this one. Correct, a leader. So you now have. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. Oh, wait a minute. Have you put the double T there? If so, right. Yes, no, I went straight for the next one, didn't I? Okay, apologies. I needed to go for a different one. But well done, guys. You clearly you did use the right one there. I missed out the other one, didn't I? Oh, that was silly of me. Okay, guys. Briefly before we move on to the next one, can you tell me about this one? Is it like shoot or is it like boot? Is it like shoot or is it like boot? What do you think? This is put. Okay. So is it like shoot or is it like boot? Shoot or boot? What do you guys think? No, wait a minute. I've just realized what I did. I went straight with the ooh, didn't I? Whoops. No, let me show you what I'm talking about. I gave you the wrong example. I had jumped the gun, as the phrase is. So, what we're looking at here is this one here, because I jumped the gun. That was silly of me. No wonder. Okay, so this is what I actually want to look at. Okay, so this is like put. Okay, put, put. It's a sound. It's shorter. Ooh is longer. This one is shorter. This is uh, uh. Okay, so you got ooh like shoot and boot. And this one is okay, like put. So what we need to do here is I'm going to write you. I'm going to write a word. I'm going to write two words actually, and you need to tell me which one is the short sound and which one is the long sound. Okay. So the first one is this word. The second one is so you both are spelt with double O. But which one has a short vowel sound? Which one has a longer one? So you got look and you got root. You got look and you got root. So which one is short? Which one is long? Just to remind you guys, this one here is going to be the short one, and the second one here is going to be the long one. Okay, so Alida has said "u" for look and "u" for root. Evelina, Arena F, and anyone else watching, do you agree with Alida? Um, is look and is root "u"? Do you agree with Alida? I mean, this is one of the things. Yes, Arena F, you're correct. This is one of the things what I was talking about earlier. You've got the same spelling in terms of the vowels, double O, but the vowel sound that is produced is different. Okay, now we've looked at that. Let's look at the last two, and then we can move on to the actual game. This one that I'm going to look at here for you is this one here. Or like horse. And the last one, if I just remind myself, is this one here. So what's the difference? You got or and o. Or and o. Or, o. Horse, October. Horse, October. Or, like horse, is a long sound. O is a short sound. So orange, o, would be a short sound, for example. So I'm now going to write, and I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think it is? What do you think it's going to be? So the first one is this one here. Awful. And the second one, and the third one. You got awful, poor, and pocket. You can see you've got this kind of similar vowel sounds in some cases, but the pronunciation is definitely difficult. So you got awful, poor, and pocket. Which one is the or sound and which one is the o sound? Which words are the or and which words are the o? Awful, poor, pocket. Awful, poor, pocket. Pocket, poor, awful. What do you guys think? And then we're going to move into the final one where you need to try and tell me all the different vowel sounds that you hear, regardless of the number of syllables. So Arena has said O for awful, or for poor, and O for pocket. Alida has gone with the same answer. Okay, so you both agree. I can tell you that you are nearly correct. You are nearly correct. Not quite. So the first one is the only one that is correct here. This is not awful, it's awful. If it was an O, it would be awful. Awful. Sounds really weird. Awful. No, it's awful. Awful. Or. Okay, it's like a horse's face. Or, awful. Poor, yes, you're correct. And pocket, you were also correct. So it's just awful. That's the only one that was incorrect. So now let's move on to the final activity. This activity is definitely going to be a little bit harder. So just to give you an example of what I'm asking you to do, because otherwise it might end up being a little bit difficult. What I would like you to do is this. I'm going to write a word and I'm going to say the word, such as adjust. Adjust. You can see here that this has two syllables. So one S is for the first syllable and two S is for the second syllable, and so on and so forth. In this case here, the first syllable is going to be this one over here. And I'm going to put all the syllables up at the top before we start this activity, so you don't have to scroll all the way up. So one S, meaning the first syllable, is the adjust, adjust. While the second one is this sound. So we put two S for second syllable. And we are going to take the, oops, what's happened here? There we go. And we're going to take the vowel sound for the main one, the second syllable, and we're going to put it here over here. Because it's adjust, adjust. Okay? So let's just remind ourselves of all the different vowel sounds that we have looked at today. Okay? And for this, I'm just going to put them up here at the top so you can quickly look at them and you can go straight for them. in terms of copying them. So you don't need to scroll all the way back up again. That is not going to be needed. So I'm just going to post them for you here, and then we can move on to the next one. We've got this one. Do like that. Okay. We've got the schwa. We can't forget the schwa because the schwa is very important. And we've got the up. And then we've got the second lot as well, which again we can't forget because we looked at quite a few vowel sounds today. So let's do that. Oh, nope, I don't want to confuse you. I'm jumping ahead again. That's silly of me. And here we go. And then we've got the final ones over here. Okay, so let's have a little go. I'll also, so we've got I, A, E, I, A. R, oo, or o. Okay, so let's have a little go. I'm going to give you a clue as well, so I'll help you out here and there. So the first word that I'm going to go with, whereby you guys have to translate all the different words that you can hear, would be this one. The sounds, okay? We're just focusing on the sounds, the vowel syllables. So the first one is experiment, 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 experiment. Okay, so you got 3 syllables there. Experiment, experiment. I'll tell you what your options are as well, just to help you out a little bit. Experiment, experiment. So you've got 3 syllables. What do you think? What's the first syllable? What's the second syllable? What's the third syllable? Okay, so don't forget to write 1S, 2S, 3S. Okay, experiment, 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 experiment. Actually, sorry, I was wrong. 4 syllables. Sorry, I just realized. No, it's 4 syllables in total. Experiment. Yeah, it's 4 syllables. So let's see. So the second one you're saying is, let's start off with the first one. Let's start off with the first syllable. Okay, so we agree with the first one. What do you think is the first syllable? Experiment, experiment, experiment. What do you think is the first syllable? Is it an e? Is it an I? Experiment, 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 experiment. Is it an e or is it an I? First syllable, Alida, yes. So that would be the first one. Second syllable, I'm guessing you guys are saying exper. Okay, so let's just assume that that's the next one. What about the third one? And then we'll look at the fourth one, okay? What's the third syllable? experiment, 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 experiment. I'll slow it down actually. Experiment, 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 experiment. What do you guys think? Third syllable. Not sure. Okay, I'll give you a clue. I'm going to give you guys a clue as to what the third syllable might be. So it's either or e, or experiment, 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 remont, 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 remont. Okay, Alida thinks maybe the schwa. Okay, guys. So what I can tell you is this one here, the third syllable, is a cheeky one, but it's actually just an e. Experiment, experiment, experiment. So that leads us on to the fourth one, which would be this. We'll do one more. We'll do one more word because I don't want to leave it like this. But let's do it one more time. Let's do one more word. Let's go with something a little bit easier. Forget, 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 forget. You only have 2 syllables here. Okay. Forget. Forget. Okay. So I've given you 3 options. You need to use 2 of them. Forget. Your options are and like egg, like America, and like earth. Forget. 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 What is the first syllable? What is the second syllable? Forget. 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 What do you guys think? Forget. And then that will bring us to the end of this week and the end of the session as well. So what do you guys think about this one? Forget. 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 Is it or What do you guys think? Forget. Forget. The first one, I'll give you, okay, first one. Alida's gone for Okay, you are correct. That's the first one. So what's the second syllable? Forget. 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 What do you guys think? Is it like egg or is it like earth? Alida, you've gone for like earth. So let's listen. Forget. 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 Does it sound like earth or egg? Forget. Forget. In this case, it's just an Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Pronunciation is a difficult one to do, especially over YouTube. But over time, I hope to be able to find ways of doing this and really tackling it properly. pronunciation is so important. And in the classroom at the moment, it is difficult to do because of COVID and everything. So, Alida, of course, I understand, Alida. I think the next time what we'll do is I have to find a way of doing it whereby we always have the example next to it. I think that's the only way we can do it. Yeah, I think I know how I would do this in the future. I think probably less vowels, more words. I think that's the way we could do it. Less vowel sounds at a time, more words, and more drilling of seeing if we can link those sounds. So I think in future, I would take a less is more approach. So maybe only concentrate on 4 sounds and go from there. I think that would make a little bit more sense. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for joining the lesson today. Alida, thank you very much for your contribution today. Much appreciated. Evelina, you too, thank you very much for your contribution. Arena F, as always, thank you so much for joining the lessons, and thank you for your contribution as well. And anyone else who was watching as well. Arena F says, thanks, Richard. Have a great weekend and fine weather. Thank you very much, Arena F. Evelina, have a great weekend. You too. Leader says, thanks, Richard. Have a wonderful weekend. See you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next time. Bye for now.